Well, John, since you and I last met on this channel, the world has turned another few degrees to crazy, even in a few short days. And I think it's important to reflect on global trade in a time of war. When we last met, we were talking about global trade in a time of stress, higher risk, uh, shortening cycles, trade protectionism. And I think it's important. We've never been in this position before, you or I, but I think it's important to learn a few lessons right away. If any of the supporters of a more protectionist trade world believe that the world can be flattened by tariffs, the current situation in the last 24 and 48 hours demonstrates that that's not true, because if you're trying to shove oil through the Straits of Hormuz, you've got a problem. The extent to which the amazing airline infrastructure in the Middle East, from Oman to the UAE, Emirates Air, Etihad, Dubai, I think, is the third largest airport in the world. The extent that the hostilities have closed airports, tens of thousands of kilometers from where you and I sit, reminds me of the days a long time ago when Canadian Pacific Airways was a smaller company, but very international. The take on them at that stage, though, was they had such let's say, a small fleet that if the flight out of Sydney, Australia to Vancouver was delayed by fog, suddenly passengers were tied up in the Moncton airport trying to get to Toronto. And we are now, of course, witnessing the cascading effects of closing several major hub airports. And it's not just people, of course, it's air freight, it's the whole economy.
John, we are in uncharted territory.
Completely.
Economically, politically, a community, organizationally, you name it. We are not sure of how to proceed. All we do know, John, and I think we'll have many, many of these discussions, is that Canadians are providing the thought leadership in defining our new times. So you and I are part of that. I'm sure there are a million discussions like this, but we will continue to have these discussions as the world unfolds by the minute.
Absolutely. And several of our guests on this podcast are right now working very hard to strengthen risk mitigation measures. Our friend Alexandra Malaket is working on a facility to make a little bit more robust supply chain financing. And, he's an expert in that field. And I spoke with Carolyn Tompkins this morning, and she's working with her partners in the federal government and across the country to bring the FIT program to the attention of more and more businesses that are going to have to go after riskier markets further afield. We have the means. And indeed, a very contemporary comment is that right now the Toronto Stock Exchange is up. Why? Because we're a petrol exchange. So oil and gold pushes our stock prosperity to a new level. Anyway, we're very difficult times, getting worse. But for those who really believe that the road to prosperity is protectionism, the next few days will be very interesting.